So let's be honest, the terms long-term archive, backup storage and data protection are unlikely to set your heart racing with excitement. More likely a quiet nervousness because you know you should do more. That or a full-on panic if you think of the consequences of doing nothing. Hello, I'm Mark Peters of the Enterprise Strategy Group, and in this short video I want to cover very briefly and hopefully all the more effectively by avoiding all the usual padding, why you should focus on data protection. Whether that's addressing immediate operational problems, backup, or bigger problems, that's disaster recovery, or long-term storage and access, that's your archive. We'll also cover ProStor's combined InfiniVault and RDX solution that can address all these needs. But first, why should you even think about all this? The answer can be boiled down to three key aspects. First, the consequences of inaction. This means you'll lose data availability in the event of some sort of issue. Now, if that doesn't sound so bad, perhaps it's better expressed as saying you'll expose your business to application downtime. Look at this chart, which shows that users, that's you and your peers, cannot withstand significant downtime without dire results. 74% of the respondents cited 3 hours or less of downtime tolerance for Tier 1 data, and 71% of respondents cited 10 hours or less of downtime even for Tier 2 data. Now, when business-critical applications are unavailable, it can have significant business consequences, such as missed business opportunities, reduced productivity, lost revenue, dissatisfied customers, damage to your organization's reputation, and even legal liability. Yes, I know it's dramatic to talk about avoiding criminal charges, but that's precisely what this can come down to. Second, the probability of need. The issues that matter are not only the unthinkable disasters, but also the less thought of common or garden ones. It's definitely a matter of not if, but when. Now, for sure, it's probably not a fire, explosion, tornado or terrorist act. It's often the more frequent mundane nuisances such as malicious tampering, accidental file deletions, burglary or viruses that cause most grief. But these still represent downtime potential. Data protection is certainly not as sexy as clouds and virtualization and other current buzzworthy things, but it matters in business terms. And doing it well can actually save you valuable time in terms of implementation ease, recovery, and even not being in court. Third, what's your motivation to address this? Well, put simply, it's the balance of the first two aspects, the probability and consequences of your potential exposure. For example, what is the cost of lost revenue versus the costs incurred to minimize the risk of downtime? This will lead you to clarity on how quickly and completely you need data and applications back. That's your recovery time and recovery point objectives. It's a crucial discussion, as this research starkly demonstrates. What it shows is that generally users aren't anything like as confident that they have adequate data protection as one might expect. Even for Tier 1 data, which is the most crucial stuff, 60% being confident is hardly an A grade. Imagine being only 60% confident of the brakes on your car or of a bank computing your balance. And of course, the they referred to might well be you. The bottom line regarding motivation for you to act is that data protection is synonymous with business protection. It should not and cannot be optional. Having covered the consequences, the probability and the motivation, let's talk about what you can actually do. ProStor has an offering combining its RDX removable disk media that provides the actual storage and its InfiniVault system that includes the software capabilities needed for archive and future access. These are complementary technologies that can fulfill both backup and DR needs, as well as providing archiving capabilities. Yes, these are distinct processes, but they can be addressed by the same enabling technology. Now, a quick note on terminology. Many organizations believe they have an archive when all they really have is old backup tapes saved off-site. The relative inaccessibility of the data, whether on tape, disk, RDX, whatever, does not make this ideal for an archive. Backups are point-in-time data copies, saved in case the original information is deleted or becomes corrupted. Archives, on the other hand, consist of primary data and files indexed for easy retrieval. So, now that you're convinced you need to improve your data protection, what media and solution might you use? Many people assume tape is the prime or only option, and it's always indeed been popular due to its portability and low cost. ProStor's InfiniVault and RDX combination is changing that assumption. By combining the advantages of tape, which is portability, long shelf life, resiliency and low cost, with the advantages of disk, performance, reliability, random access, backward and forward compatibility, and adding ease of implementation because disk format is natively supported by most backup applications, it offers you a fast and inexpensive alternative to tape-based backup and archive. Ian Duncan from ProStor now joins me. This chart shows what users see as the challenges with all sorts of data protection technologies and processes. Ian, could you use this as a backdrop to briefly expand on the capabilities of RDX and InfiniVault and to highlight the value that they can bring to users?
I'd be happy to, Mark. And for most of our customers I talk to, rather than diving into features and functions that you can get off of our data sheets on our website, let's focus on the top three capabilities. First of all, it's about capacity and capacity management. What ProStor InfiniVault with RDX removable media allows you to do is expand incrementally. Pull data that's static off of primary storage and be able to grow as your needs grow in the most cost-effective manner possible. Then there are the perennial backup problems. In some cases, this is driven by the amount of data customers are trying to back up or recover, which can be mitigated by a more efficient system that allows you to archive data off from primary storage through to the need in a tape-based world to have to migrate data between newer versions of LTO technology. Then there are the requirements around compliance or data management. This continues to be a challenge for more and more companies. If you think about the type of information that's required to be kept for a long period of time, either because you're in an industry that's subject to regulatory approval, or because it's good business practice to keep that information, or even if you're dealing with some kind of digital asset, then having a system that can provide the capabilities to guarantee the retention, recovery, and cost-effective storage of that information is terrifically valuable. One of the core values of the InfiniVault is that all of this software is included in every system, so that you can start out dealing with potentially one of these issues, capacity management, backup or data management, and grow within the system to address one or more of the others without incremental costs.
Okay, I get that. But what about your partners, market success and case studies?
Mark, we've got a wide variety of partners. On the technology adoption side, we've got companies like Dell, IBM, HP, Lenovo, and Fujitsu, who all resell RDX technology and who have enabled us to ship over 130 petabytes of RDX storage in total. Just to put that number in context, it's enough to store a 1 megabyte photo of every human being who's ever existed. In terms of case studies, we've a variety of them on our website, but I'd place them into three broad categories. Firstly, there's those that are dealing with document or content management. We're typically looking at industries like financial services, higher education, oil and gas, construction, and state or local government, etc., where there's some kind of business record that needs to be retained and protected, either within the system or with our replication technology. Secondly, we see tremendous growth within healthcare, where the need to retain and protect information is perhaps most obvious, but the technology advances in medical imaging is driving huge amounts of content that needs to be managed. And finally, we see a category we call digital content archive, where customers are looking to retain rich media, images, audio or video content, or a combination of all three with a view to realizing some kind of revenue stream from that asset.
Hopefully this video has outlined the needs and opportunities surrounding data protection architectures and explained how ProStor's RDX and InfiniVault can be an easy, broad and valuable solution. Thanks for watching.